Morning guys, I'm in the C300 now. So I've driven the car back during the launch in Malaysia, this CKD version, and it was launched in Cameron Highlands, and the roads that we're driving is all Cameron Highlandy, right? And I guess some of you would have watched the video. Going fast around the highways and all that, this car handles well. They solve a lot of issues with regards to how the transmission mapping was done, and the suspension is greatly aided by this adaptive suspension now. Now, a lot of people ask us, or ask me, about the G20 330i versus the C300, okay? And of course the Audi A5 Sportback, after we sort of tell everybody that, hey, that car is just 10,000 more than the G20. So now in terms of price parity, so granted, a little bit of caveat here, I do not have the A4 2-litre Quattro TFSI to be compared here, alright? And the A5 is supposedly to be in the 4 Series Grand Coupe segment, or if the C-Class has a CL version, right, a CLC or something, then that would have made sense. Okay, nevertheless, the A5 is from one segment up, or one price parity up, and they are about the same, you know, 330k, 320k, and 305 or 6k, this one. But in terms of specs, because this is locally assembled, this has the highest spec, right? It has automatic braking, it has adaptive cruise control, it has blind spot assist, it has adaptive suspension, which the other two doesn't have. But I'll come back to that, because even though this is adaptive suspension, but I felt the balance is, in terms of tuning, the A5 got it. Even though the A5, when you adjust between sport and comfort and all that, the suspension doesn't really change anything, but it hit a right spot where you don't have to fiddle with it at all. This one, you can obviously feel the comfort and then stiffening up, but after that, then you feel a lot of little body movement when you're driving, even if it's in comfort mode, right? You feel that it is not a big luxury car, unlike the A5, okay? So in terms of on paper, specs count, the C300 nails it, right? It has the spec counts. But in terms of mapping, in terms of how refined it is in execution, I think the A5 got it better. Yeah. In terms of power, the G20 is ahead of the other two, and then it will be this guy. Then the slowest would be, I shouldn't use slow in this context, but then it is the slowest in this context, the A5 Sportback, okay? This one is powerful. This engine is powerful. And it makes it all the more exciting with the engine noise, you know? And immediately you can tell when you roll up high speed, soundproofing in this car is the poorest. Be it road noise or wind noise or ambient noise. In terms of soundproofing, this is poorer than the G20, it is poorer than the Audi A5. Both of them are extremely quiet, but to be fair, this is also a previous generation product, right? This was launched back in 2000 something. You know, we used to say that the Mercedes C-Class was a car that you can drive nicely day to day, and then when you want some excitement you can have, but it's not as sharp and things like that, right? Now, it is still not as sharp as the 3 Series. However, now, in terms of day-to-day slow driving, you have a lot of comfortable cars out there. The Passat is more comfortable, right? The A5 Sportback is more comfortable, right? But when you do this kind of exciting driving, when you're chasing a 3 Series and things like that, right? This car now, after this facelift, after they fix the suspension, they fix the transmission and all that, right? It has been a rather very enjoyable drive. In terms of its athleticism, the agility that they put in is not as good. Yes, we all know that. It's just not as refined or as precise as the 3 Series. You need to correct it a little bit here. You need to manage the weight transfer a little bit there. But down to it, when you come down to it, right, you're smiling. That's most important, right? And I like that. Yeah. Cheers. Okay guys, fresh off the launch of the G20 330i, we tested the A5 Sportback because we say, hey, that's only 10 grand more. And then now Mercedes called us and say, hey, take the C300 because they're not gonna lie low and let everybody look at the 3 Series. Now the C-Class W205, that's the code name for this car, has been around for quite some time, and they have not stopped on their laurels. They keep updating it. First they changed the transmission from 7-speed to 9-speed, which improves things a little bit, and then now here comes the facelift version. And look at those headlamps, man. Look at these Mercedes multi-beams. The way they construct them is as if a designer had to go make the most outrageous design ever in the cluster, and then the engineers had to find out how to get it work. Look at how the way the lights are, how they work it is like crazy. Look at these little blue beams in there, and the projector headlamp, and then these over here, and there's these little wordings, you know, -123, +123. A lot of stuff's going on in there to make you feel that it's worth your money. Okay, 305,000, and this car is very well spec'd. Okay, you get 360 cameras, and Mercedes cameras are really good. The way they implement the software, it's not just the camera resolution but the software as well. And it comes fitted with really good tires. These are the they used to put 5P. This is CSC 5. Very good tires. Okay, they're lovely to drive on. These rims are 19-inch, but the design of the rims make you feel as though they're not that big. Okay, but it's nicely sized. Okay, now the C-Class, when it first came about, everybody fell in love with the design, right? It's just good looking, right? Very soupy, and these tail lamps, I kind of miss those light strips at the back. The facelift one, they did it in the C word. Okay, C300, 2-liter engine, 258 horsepower, 370 Newton meters of torque. Okay, the car looks good. The car looks good. It did not age one bit, in my opinion. It's been around for so long, but yet the soupy designs and all these just work. And then the diamond grille, right? The diamond grille used to be reserved for AMGs, but then now they have the I don't know how many types of grills they have, you know, the Panamericana grill, and then these diamond grills, and then this little wing here. They look great. Okay, this one is for the auto braking, right? The radars are hidden in there, very nicely implemented. Even the housing for the camera, everything is well thought out. And the cut line of the bonnet is not as how do I put this? Look at Volvo, they just cut one line across. The 3 Series, the F30, they cut one line across. But this one, they do it in a way whereby it's as though this is a singular unit, and then the bonnet is just up there. So when you're looking at it from a dead front angle, it hides the lines. So that's not bad. Okay. The housings. This one has blind spot warning, as you can see it here. Alright, the blind spot warning is there. In terms of, this one has sunroof as well. I would call it a panel roof because it's pretty big. It's larger than your usual sunroof. Okay, and it's not the type that how do I put it? The size of it, alright, is pretty large. It's larger than your usual sunroof. So I would call it a panel, to be honest. I would call it a panoramic roof. Because even the rear, see? Very nice. I like it. Now in terms of the interior appointments, they've done it really well. I mean, I would say at this price point, given that it's CKD, the positioning of this is a very well spec car. Now, remember when I mentioned Audi did the kind of welding, but of course this one is a glass roof on top, so can't run away from that, okay? And I can't say, see, this one is not from, when you buy a Mercedes-Benz, this comes along with your car. Okay, you push this in and then you can collapse the whole thing, and this one hides, you see, nicely stowed away, and it's pretty spacious in here. Again, I do hope car makers can, oh, nice, okay. See, I think I'm the first motoring journalist who pointed out that car makers should actually carpet the top, because it doesn't look good to have the bare metal being shown. Mercedes seems to be the first one that does something with it. They actually painted it black instead of leaving it stainless steel color, you know, so at least visually it's more appealing, it's more cohesive when you're in the boot area. I understand that some Lexus owners tell me that Lexus actually carpet the top as well, so that's good. You have these levers to release it. Swan neck mechanism. Swan neck mechanism means it counterbalances the weight of the boot, so that there's less load on the motor. Not only that, even when you de-spec the car without the motor, it is able to counterbalance and just pop right up. Okay, so when you close it, it can be powered when you close it. Okay, but when you open, it's just the springs bouncing it upwards. Now let's look at the party piece of the C-Class, the interior. This interior has been around for so long, but you cannot argue with the design. It is just beautiful. It is just pleasing to the eye. You know, you have the Audi interior, which is very clinical but very well built. Okay, this one in terms of material is really good. The touch points, Mercedes managed it really well. Look at the touch points. All these are touch points, right? Nice material. You have a stitch going on here. You have leather clad inserts over here. The metallic surfacing of the buttons, the touch points, and then the seat control. The seat control is not the most ergonomic being put here, but Mercedes has been putting it here, and it's very straightforward in terms of understanding how to operate it, because this one is for the seat back, this one for the seat base, this one for the thigh support, for the headrest. It's so straightforward, right? So in terms of operating it, it's very hard to use your right hand to operate it, easier to use the left hand, right? Turn a little bit, but it's just nice. Look at this wood veneer, right? This is just a very good combination of style and design, and I like it a lot. Okay, start button is over here, and when they first have the C-Class, right, they have the metallic button over here. They have their mechanism whereby if you spec keyless, they will give you that button. If you didn't spec keyless, they will just remove the button and your key had to slot in, you know. That is a very blatant way to make money, but clever nonetheless. Steering wheel is all new. This steering wheel is one of the best steering wheel in the business, if not the best now. Okay, a fantastic steering wheel, nice to hold, not too thick, and the controls are nicely spaced out. It's nice to press the buttons, and I love this little touch sensitive haptic button. Okay, it's very nice to operate. This one on the left operates the left screen, see that? And then this one operates this screen. Very clever. Okay, just swipe up and down, right? Very nice. Even the graphics are crisp, and graphics are so fast. Okay, they put a great processor there, and then the way they design, they make use of the LCD screen in the right way. You look at the G20, the LCD screen is rather disappointing because all it does is just replacing the analog to digital. That's it. Not much of functionality there, but Mercedes went all out, just like Porsche. You know, they give you a lot of controls, G-force meter, things like that. and it appeals to you when you're in the showroom, when you sit into this car, even though this one is older than the competition. But the way they updated it, right, the way they did the graphics and all that, you just feel that you're getting your money's worth. All right, now Mercedes, the gear lever is over here. As I've mentioned before, every single car needs to give you focal points when you sit into the car to attract you to buy the car. When you walk in and sit in the showroom, without the gear lever, they can't design the thing. So now what they did is that, not now, I mean, even a few years ago, they did this beautiful thing to control the command system. Now the command system hasn't had the greatest review being given, but then Mercedes keep updating it. So I don't see it as being too far away from the BMW system now. In fact, I think they are sort of equal in that sense, because now everything is straightforward, and then Mercedes is, they really spend time to do the graphics. You look at that, look at how the graphics transition, you know, this is effort. You can see effort here. Look at that, you know, all these things adds up to making you feel that, wow, I'm buying something really high-tech. You know, you don't get this kind of experience in your usual Japanese Korean car, and then when you go into a Mercedes-Benz, you're like, wow, it's just non-stop, the way they appeal to you, non-stop. Okay, this whole console, back then they put it in a gloss black plastic, which leaves a lot of fingerprint marks, and then now this one in this wood veneer, fantastic black color, very modern, yet you have some classic touch to it, you know, with the patterns going on. And then there's a little clock here. If you buy an AMG, like a 63, you get an IWC clock. But I don't see too big of a, it's just the word IWC. But it's a nice touch. It's a very nice touch to have this here, right? And then of course the aircon vent. Look at it snap into place. You can hear it. Hear that? See? These are all what we meant by touch points that makes you feel that you are buying into a premium car. Okay? Lovely. Everything is nice here. Compartments is fantastic. Look at that. Alright? And look at that. They actually have a separator here. They have a whole thing here that snaps in for your cup holder, or you can take it out, and then it's a nice compartment. Of course, it would be nice if they have wireless charging over here, but so far no, I don't see it. This one is for the key sensor. If your keys are weak, you know, the car couldn't sense it, you can place it here, and then you'll be able to start the car. This part here is alright, it's carpeted, of course, premium car, 2 USB ports, and this one is functional. Lovely. Okay, the glove box is huge, and then you see this is what I mentioned just now, right? You can snap it into place. They seem to have removed the perfume thingy, where you can buy the perfume and slot it in, and then it will come out from your car. That was a nice touch, you know, when you open the glove box, you see that thing in there, you'll be like, wow, beautiful. They haven't changed this. This is the sunglass holder, rubberized in here, but it's so tiny, and these plastics are not the best to touch, right? These plastics feel rather cheap, and this one won't fit your aviators. Okay, small, but all these are alright. All these are really nice, nicely appointed, the whole interior. And of course, the way they spec it, again, I need to praise the guy who works in Mercedes-Benz Malaysia, how they spec the car. You see, dark interiors. Malaysians like dark interiors because we're afraid of getting dirty and all that. And then the seats are in red. So this is a very nice combination. I mean, Alfa Romeo used to do that, right? When you go into the car, it's black interior, but then it's red on the seats and all that. These type of design were reserved for the M cars, the RS cars, the AMG cars back then, but then now Mercedes offers it in a C300, right? So overall, in terms of the front seats, it's a fantastic place to be, apart from this thing here. Look at this. Okay, I have size 11 feet, and do you notice that there are no footrests over here? There's no footrest. So when you're driving, look at your legs. Look at that. Yup. It's very tight in here, and this happens only to the right-hand drive version C-Class and right-hand drive version E-Class. Okay, it doesn't happen on the left-hand drive car, and it doesn't happen to the A class or the CLA or the GLA even. Alright, the A class, CLA, GLA have a more wider footwell for the driver, but somehow the E class and the C class in the right hand drive version this happened. And so far again, I'm the only motoring journalist who point this out. I don't know why. It cannot be just Malaysia, no way. Okay, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, India, UK, they all should have the same thing. Alright, let's go to the rear seats. Now I am 5'11". If this is your first time watching my video, okay. At the back here, I have about 2 fingers of headroom left, and the shape of the headrest, I like this. You know, a lot of cars, in terms of the rear seat, right, they have that really hard headrest, but this one is a softer material that I don't need to adjust it. I just leave it where it is and it's already comfortable for me, even at its base position. It doesn't extend down here like some cars. They extend down here and it pushes on your neck at the base of your back, the upper back, right? Then you have to push it up and then you block headroom, you block visibility and all that. But this one is just nice. It's just really nice. Alright, and all these touch points for the rear passenger, when you place your arms here, this opening is very wide, so that whether your arms are longer or shorter, you still can slot it in, and that's a very nice touch. And you use this to close the door as well, so nicely appointed. And then the height of the windows are really good, and you get this little blind here, and then to block off sunlight. That's a nice touch as well, and it's a comfortable car to be in at the back here. In terms of the base of the seat, now the base of the seat is pretty low, and but it's slanted. You see, but it's slanted. So what's the significance of this is that even if you have shorter legs, if you're a kid, right, you will still feel comfortable because it's not a straight drop, right? So it's pretty alright here. This part, this little wall E here, they have changed the plastic. Okay, many motoring journalists, including myself, we have complained about the plastics at the back here. It's still a hard plastic, right? It is still a hard plastic, but it's not as rough as before. The coating on it is much better now, so the feel or the sensation of this touch of this is similar to this, but this still feels way better than this. All right, there you go. The glove box, you have a cover here, you have a compartment here, and then the cup holders here. Very good execution, no complaints there, and it's comfortable to place your arms. You know, I was in the Proton X70, I rest my arm, when I take up, the lid opens up. So this one, you won't have that kind of problem. And Mercedes always seems to be able to engineer different mechanisms that from everybody else. Alright, so the ISOFIX covers, oh, it's rubberized now. Look at that. Oh, so how it works now is that, wow, that's new. I didn't realize that. Okay, back then you have some that flips in, okay, some you remove it, but those that you remove, you will lost it. But Mercedes did a very nice touch. They reduced the length of the flipping mechanism, and there is a rubberized coating on top that is flimsy at the end, so when you slot your ISOFIX seat, this thing goes in and pop. That is attention to detail. I like that. I like that. Okay, so yep, this interior is fantastic. No complaints apart from the footwell, and of course the car could do with a little bit better soundproofing. But of course, if I'm Mercedes-Benz, I would reserve that for the new C-Class, which is definitely on the horizon already, because this car is already a few years old. Alright, so yep, that's the walk around video. Thank you, and subscribe. Oh, C-Class or 3 Series or A5 or whatever, vote. Okay, Cars for Malaysia voting is ending really soon, and we were so happy with the response. It's crazy. We only live it for one month, and we didn't do crazy shouting and all that. We just do our videos, we just tell people that, yeah, go and vote, a few thousand voted. Wow. All right. So yeah, that's the review. Cheers.